I saw someone was like commenting about like the guy having figures in his back in the background, and I had like no fucking I had like no fucking clue. Yeah. I had no fucking clue what they were talking about because, like, as far as I knew, it was just a girl who tweeted about it once. I didn't know that the guy did a video on it yet. But anyway, fucking this dude points out, like, oh, well, this guy is such a hypocrite because he's got a figure of RC in the background. And RC is a transformer. It's like the first female transformer, okay? And it's like, the link that they provided was to something called an LBGT wiki, which was like a listing of every LBGT character that existed. And okay, so the fact that there is an LBGT transformer made zero sense to me, because like, the very concept of sexuality would not exist to a transformer. Like this absolutely. They're fucking robots. They don't have the concept of sexuality because reproduction is not a part of their fucking it's not a part of their anything. I mean, like a fucking there's no I looked up for like an official canon explanation of fucking Transformers reproduction, just because I wanted to be sure. Like if I remembered in the old cartoon, they were all basically just kind of built like robots, right? They weren't really like specifically. There was no like actual process of them just being born. They were kind of built on an assembly line. Yeah. Oh yeah. And so anyway, I'm like looking it up, and the closest thing that I have found to a canon-ish representation of sexual reproduction was something that was like created in like some 80s comic that was called Budding, and it was like the fucking artist just kind of made it up. Because he wanted some, and it was like the guy's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if like Optimus Prime and Hot Rod were banging, and so he like made up this thing that kind of sort of resembled sex, but it's canonically speaking, there is virtually no representation of any form of anything in the Transformers universe that even like partially relates to sex. Okay? Like at all. There's no sexuality in the Transformers universe. That is why they were like one of the perfect toys for kids. There was no concept of sexuality. But anyway, this wiki qualified RC as transsexual and a lesbian. Oh, no, it was lesbian. Yeah, she was female, but it's like as qualified as female and a lesbian. And it's like, okay, again, I have to emphasize, there's, in the Transformers universe, the Transformers world, there is zero concept of sexual reproduction. Like, at all. The very concept of sex does not exist in their mind because they do not need to sexually reproduce, right? And so somehow people are like associating this concept of putting sexuality on characters where it does not exist, okay? And it's so freaking stupid. Exactly. And it's so dumb. I mean, there was another discussion earlier, a while ago I saw that I was actually somewhat interested in, was a lot of people were trying to say that Renamon was transsexual. And I'm like, well, how does that even fucking work? And it's like, okay, Digimon are like Transformers. They do not produce sexually, like at all. Now, I know there's a lot of R34 of the characters that would say otherwise, but like theoretically, they wouldn't even have functioning sex organs, right? I mean, they wouldn't even, because they don't reproduce sexually. Oh fuck! I forgot her tail. Oh well, hang on. Let me just work on her lines here. Anyways, there's no fucking. So like the discussion of is there was like a new version of Digimon where the Renamon in it said that they preferred using a male disguise, and I'm like, and it's like okay, Digimon, Transformers, and just about anything robotic would be about what I would consider non-binary. Okay, as I understand the way non-binary works, it's basically there is no specific gender assigned, and a Transformer, aside from appearance, a Transformer and a Digimon, aside from appearance, don't have any sexuality assigned to them. So the fact that someone is like going through the series and trying to associate, and it's always the same thing, it's always them trying to specifically find ways to make them LBGT, find ways to make them transsexual, find ways to make them gay, find ways, and it's like, okay, first off, regular R34 is dumb enough as it is, okay? Like, you know, I've always found it, I've always found, like, the concept of Digimon R34 to be kind of weird. It's like, don't get me wrong, the characters are sexy, and they definitely, especially Digimon, I don't know what the hell the fucking artists were thinking. Like, half the female characters just kind of look like human girls with fucking underwear on or something. I'm like, it's very strange, but, you know. Ha, I got her tail now. Ha ha ha. I see where I just wanted to fucking. But anyway, it's just so fucking dumb. It's like, why are you always trying to associate sexuality where it doesn't exist? R34 gets a pass because it's just fucking dumb. But it's like I mean, and that's the thing. If it was like someone was writing a fanfic or something. Yeah, I know that. I mean, that is in the English dub. I'm not sure. I'd have to actually do some research on that. But I do believe it was the same in the Japanese dub, where they don't have a specific gender. And I mean, like, canonically, Renamon doesn't necessarily, aside from her voice, doesn't have a specific gender. So, like, aside from what we assume, she looks feminine until her later forms, even beyond, like her last like two forms kind of are very humanoid, or so they have a female appearance, and it's like, even then it's kind of like, well, it's a female appearance. It's not, it's an aesthetic. It's not necessarily like the character's gender. But I don't know. It's just dumb to me that their fucking people are trying so hard. And I was watching like a fucking